Camp Homeward Bound, I think, is to give children from a more underprivileged background a chance to come to a summer camp and just have as much fun as any other child would.
What's your favorite thing to do here?
Lots of stuff, play sports on the computer, run around.
Yeah?
It's fun here.
It's not really boring, and they give you a lot of things to do, and they never bring you down.
They taught me how to swim. Yeah! And this is my 4th year here.
Most of the kids come, about 55% at least come from shelters. The others come from foster care situations.
Where these kids are from, there's a lot of drug dealing, violence, basically everyone trying to live the ghetto life that they see on TV and in movies.
I've had a couple kids tell me some personal stuff, and then sometimes I'm just like, you know, it's horrible. I really don't know what to do about it. I just want to take them home.
At home, their mothers or their parents are abusive or something like that happened. And here, they expect you, when they don't listen, they expect you to hit them or something like that. But when you start to talk to them, they realize that this is different. This is not what I'm used to. This is the way life is supposed to be.
They have a lot of responsibilities at home, whether that's taking care of like younger siblings or, you know, helping out around the house, things like that. And so I think that's part of the reason that they enjoy camp so much, is that they don't have to do any of that.
I got taken away from my mother, and I got put in foster care. And then after that, like, they put me in another one, My heroes in life is my mom and dad.
And some of these kids come here angry, emotional, withdrawn, and we try and draw out the happiness out of them.
Camp Homeward Bound, hey, 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 it's not far. Just tell your mom she'll be here in a minute getting you hard.
You know, we're doing an awful lot with very little, and this is one of the most basic camps I've ever had the privilege to direct. We need things to really stimulate the older kids. We need a challenge course. We need ceramics. We need to be able to have a progression in the programs, and right now we're just really basic arts and crafts, you know, sports.
I bet anybody from large corporations would come up to camp and saw these kids and saw them in action, saw the friendships that they make here, the experiences, great experiences that they can have here, would have no problem seeing where that money is going and also the need for it.
I could just see it. Nike Homeward Bound fishing dock.
Help these kids out. You won't regret it.
We need a new basketball court. It's all messed up. The basketball hoops is all bent and stuff. And we need a maid.
Any money that's invested into this camp is well worth it, because you're not only changing one particular kid, you're changing the whole neighborhood. More that kids just come in here, go into the neighborhood, like for example in Brooklyn, and that kid starting to react to his friend like, you know, this is not the way you do things. You start, basically you forming new diplomats around the city.
I would definitely say if there's any corporations or any potential sponsors, definitely consider this camp as an investment, because if this camp isn't open next year, I can think of a ton of children that are going to be incredibly disappointed, and they're going to make them feel like their summer is far emptier.
And it had a white head and a white neck.
How big was it?
It was like up to Lil's waist.
How big? Show me how big.
It was like, it was me up here. It was so big, I'm telling you.
It was so big.
One of those. So if you go to the pet shop and you see one of those birds, then you know what we're talking about.
Will you make any noises?
I don't know. No. It was quiet. I guess it was shy, because you know, birds are scared of humans.
It was all the way over in the lake, wasn't it?
So I guess it was. I guess it was shy because we were sitting there staring at it.
What other animals have you seen up here?
We saw deer, bears, lizards, frogs, snakes, a tail.
What's them big birds that we see?
Talking about hawks, eagles. No.
I feel the camp needs a lot more support financially, because there's a lot more we could be doing here. We could have a lot more resources to take kids out on day trips.
Camp Homeward Bound. That's where we at.
People think about camp as just being fun, you know, a fun place to go. And a lot of funders look at that and they say, well, we don't want to give thousands of dollars just for kids to go have fun. But in between all that fun are kids just really growing and developing into just really positive individuals.
Someone might be the toughest kid throughout all of camp, but the first one crying when he's leaving.
And I've had an emotional time here, but it's also been probably the best thing that I've ever done in my life.